Is it going to be woke? Greetings, fellow mythics. Hello, how are we? Yes, my name is Ken Boyter, otherwise known as the Ink-Pot Monkey, and welcome to another Ink-Pot Monkey Reacts. Now, I've not done one of these for a while, mainly because I've been really busy and I've been doing other shows. So check out the Fantasy Faux Pas show, which is a show that we look at 6 films. Well, we don't look at them, but there's 6 films that potentially we will be watching one of them. No, we will be watching one of them. I'm not really selling it, am I? 6 fantasy films. They might be rubbish, they might be good, we've not seen them, and then we're going to watch them and then we chat about them afterwards in all its delightful converse. Is that a word? I think it is. It's a pair of trainers, isn't it? Anywho, so yeah, I've been doing some other shows as well and getting those, editing them, filming them, editing them, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, and I'm back doing another react because it is Lord of the Rings. Yes, Amazon Prime TV are I don't know if they've finished it yet. They're about well, it's meant to be launching this year. I think it's August 2022, which is this year, I think. Now, I've purposely I don't want to know too much about it because I quite like not knowing stuff when I go in, but I have heard rumours that it is going to be fairly woke. Now, where do I feel about that? I'm just looking for good storytelling, good characters that do not antagonise people, basically, that do not, divide fandom. Now, with Lord of the Rings, we had the fantastic Peter Jackson trilogy way back. I think it was 2000 was the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring. And he knew the material. He was very respectful of the material. He understood what Tolkien was all about and what Tolkien wanted to do. And Tolkien took time writing Lord of the Rings and writing The Hobbit and writing, making copious amounts of notes. He wanted to create a mythology for England. And what that means is he thought about everything. He just spent years and years and years building this world. And so he covered race, he covered the politics, he covered good versus evil, he had interesting characters, he knew about the weather systems, he even invented languages. In fact, that's how he started. I think he was Professor of Languages, or Old Anglo-Saxon. I'm not really 100% sure, I've forgotten now. I've read a lot and then I forget a lot. But he studied and he created a language and he went, oh, I better build a world around this language. I wonder who speaks it. So it was that kind of process. So he was somebody that was a very intelligent man. He was a professor at Oxford University in England and he cared about what he was doing, his world building. Peter Jackson did the same, he cared about it, and other adaptations as well. There was the cartoon versions that came out, I think in the 80s it was, or maybe it might be in late 70s, early 80s. And again, they were very respectful of the source material. My opinion is, if you're going to spend millions, maybe billions, I don't know, but there's certainly millions of pounds on a project that you have bought the copyright licensing for, that you can actually officially make this, why change it? Why change it? Now, those of you, obviously, if you are fans, you will know, obviously, big hits. The big hits are Lord of the Rings, which comprises 3 books. He wrote it as one big, massive book. The Hobbit, that's a shorter book. That's aimed more at kids. This one, Lord of the Rings, a bit more grown up, a bit more adult. And then, of course, we have other ones that came out as well. I can never say this, Silmarillion. Now, this was basically the history of the world, of Middle-earth. And it's really a history. There's no characters development as such, as in a normal writing. When you read a novel, it's a story. They're lulling you in. There's descriptions of people and places. With this, it's a history, so it's a little bit more formal. It's a little bit like reading the Bible, if you've ever sat down and read the Bible. And so it's gonna be, I don't know what, because Amazon TV apparently, and this is pretty much all I know, is it's meant to be a prequel to Lord of the Rings. But he created thousands and thousands of years worth of history. So just exactly what they're going to do, exactly which bits they're going to pick. We've got other things, because he made loads of notes that were never necessarily published in his time. This was edited by Christopher Tolkien, his son, and he... so yeah, there's another one here, The Children of Húrin. So there's lots of material that Tolkien didn't necessarily publish in his lifetime that they can draw on. Just what they're drawing on, I don't know. My big thing is good characterization, good stories. I want to see a fantasy world Middle-earth. I want it to be true and authentic to the vision of Tolkien and what he actually wanted. And I don't want any modern stuff brought into it. When I write fantasy, because I write fantasy books, I don't think, right, I'm going to write fantasy and then I'm going to do the political situation in France. How about that? That's not what I'm going to do, because you might as well just write a political book, you know, a modern day book about the politics in France, or, you know, the social system in France. Do you see what I mean? This is fantasy. I want this to be void of any modern politics and modern ideologies. I don't want this to be a thinly disguised, you know, clothes horse just to hang on other people's agendas. I don't want that. So, that said, because they've just released, I think it's the second teaser trailer. I thought it was only one teaser trailer, which was the first one. But if there's two, I will look at two. We'll see you after my reaction. It might be this. It might be this. An embarrassing double thumbs up. Excited.
It's like in the great stories, Mr. Frost.
Okay. That was Sam evoking the Lord of the Rings
The
trilogy.
ones that really mattered.
Oh, they've got footage of the trilogy then.
Full of darkness and danger they were.
Yeah, so there's I can never pronounce this.
And sometimes you didn't
It's
want to
Frodo.
know the end. Because out to the
So
end
basically,
we
I think this is the one that came out in
how
August
could the world
last
go
year,
back to the way it was when so much bad happened?
and it's old footage. It's the trilogy.
Those were the stories
of the
that stayed
Rings.
with
It's
you.
the Peter Jackson one.
That meant something.
Okay, now I think.
How much are you willing to sacrifice? To suffer.
I have given up everything.
Not everything.
Return to Middle-earth, it says at the end. Okay, well, that was the first one. Let's try the second one. I'll look for that now. I found it. It says title announcement, but I think I've heard what they're going to call it. Let's see if I've heard correctly. Here we go. Okay, it's landscapes, sweeping landscapes. Tolkien was a big landscape fan.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone.
Okay, so
9 for mortal men
larva. It looks like it's
doomed
going
to
to
die.
the letters.
1 for the Dark Lord
So they're
on
doing
his
a
dark
poem
throne
describing the.
in the land of Mordor,
Okay, that's all
where
looking
the
pretty cool so
shadows
far.
lie.
Yeah. So it's called Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. Oh, let me pause it. Right. See you in a bit. Well, it was a bit more like, didn't really know too much about that. I guess to be fair, they've just said that second trailer was the what was it called? The Rings of Power. That was just basically them telling you what the actual show is going to be called. It's Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. It's quite a mouthful. So yeah, they've not. That's a completely made up title, which I guess my gut instinct is a little bit worrying, because I want them to be faithful to what Tolkien has written, and if they're not, then I think I'm going to be disappointed, and thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of people across the globe are going to be very disappointed. The first one it said it was called The Concept, and it was basically just showing us the Peter Jackson trilogy, little clips from there, and just reminding us, I guess, of Lord of the Rings. But all that's done is make me just want to go and watch Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson trilogy. So I don't know if that's going to backfire for Amazon or not. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see a full trailer, please. Now, I don't really know. I mean, where are we? But August. I think the first trailer that Peter Jackson released was about a year, maybe a year and a half before it was in the theatres, before it was in the cinema. So time's running out. So I don't know why they've not really released more and images, stills, and other trailers, and really trying to G us up. I don't know, it could be that they've had to reshoot things, they've had to change things, or it could be that they're going to be giving us a push from February onwards, because time's running out. You've got to get people interested. Or they're not very happy with it. It could be that they're slightly embarrassed by it. I don't know, maybe that's being a bit unfair. I do like to try to not judge anything until I've actually seen it, and then make my opinion of it. And I am happy that there is, they want to do Lord of the Rings, but I'm all for that. But I feel like they have to be respectful with the source material. If they're not, then it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a complete disaster. And if they've spent lots of money on this, which they have done, they're going to lose lots of money on this. I know it's tricky to sort of gauge that because they're a streaming service, so they're not actually making money directly from the TV series as such. It's from subscriptions. So it's difficult. Who knows how they're judging success? Presumably it's by how many people watch each episode. But that's where it gets a bit difficult. I guess people, if they just don't like it, you can tell it. You watch episode 1, you'll get a lot of people watching that one because there's just millions of fans, and then if they don't like it, they might give it episode 2, might give it a chance. I'm a little bit like that. Episode 3, it will just tail off. But if it's excellent and they've done a brilliant job, you're going to get a load of people watching the first one, more people watching the second one, even more, and it will build and build and build. And that's kind of what they want, isn't it? Well, that's what I want. I really hope this is a good adaptation. I mean, there's some brilliant stuff out there, by the way. You probably know this already, but if you don't know, there is some fantastic supporting material for Lord of the Rings. Check out your local charity shops, your local second-hand bookshops. Characters from Tolkien. This is a bestiary, or a bestiary, I think that's maybe how you pronounce it, a bestiary by David Day. Just gorgeous illustrations from various different artists. I mean, look at that. Look at that. And then it just explains, all the creatures and the high elves, Hildor, Hillman, hobbits. Goes into what hobbits are. So it's actually got a... Look at them. Look at the hobbits. I love this book. I've got a companion book. I've got the Art of the Hobbit book. They're gorgeous, gorgeous. And when you create a story and it inspires so many people to want to illustrate them, look at Shelob, that want to actually get involved and immerse themselves in your story and your characters, You've got to have done something right. You know, millions of books sold worldwide. The films were hugely successful. Millions and millions of dollars they made on that. And it's not because it's terrible and they've put in their own ideology. No, it's because they're good characters and good storytelling. But what a thing to do, to achieve, to actually write such a fantastic story and create this amazing fantasy world that people want to be in and want to live in and want to find out more and write their own fan fiction and dress up and go to conventions. That's inspiration. You know, imagine being able to do that. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a trailer soon. Until then, remember, may the magic of stories flow through you always.